everyone, in this tutorial video I want to teach you how to create music videos with Audio Visualizer using Wondershare Filmora. So for this example I'm using a piano piece that I did called As the Deer, and here's the audio, and I'm going to detach the audio by pressing Ctrl-Alt-D, or just right click and just click Detach Audio. Again, you have the option this keyboard shortcut Ctrl-Alt-D, and then I'm just going to delete that. Next, I'm going to choose a background, and you could choose your own background. There's a lot of samples that you could choose from if you want, like a color or a gradient, or you could also go to stock media and you have a lot of these backgrounds that you could have. So I'm going to try this one because I like nature. And I like it. Now I want a background that's going to span the entire duration of the music piece, so I could always choose more and put them after each other, but I like this one. So I'm just going to use the same one, so I'm going to copy and paste, and then I'm going to go to transitions, put in a transition such as dissolve, and see how that looks. And I'm not really a fan of it stopping like that as it goes on to the next one. So I'm just going to make a couple of minor edits. I'm going to shorten that, going to come over here, shorten that, and let's see how it looks. And just loops like that continuously. So I'm just going to do the same real quick. And now the entire video will have that background just looping on itself. And then I'm just going to conclude with the fade. Perfect. Now the next step is add the audio visualizer. So I'm going to go to Effects, and I have all of these to choose from. And so let us choose this one and see how it looks. Okay, so I like that, and again you could choose any one of these, but you see how this is kind of a bit in the middle of the frame instead of down here. It has a flat bottom, so I would like it to go down here. However, you can't just click this and drag it down. You have to double click on the effect on the track itself, and then you have all of these options. You could change the opacity depending. And so I want to move this down here. Think about a graph, and think about you have the vertical axis and the horizontal axis. The vertical axis goes up and down. It's vertical, and that's usually denoted as the y-axis, right? So you go to position y, and you could change it and make it go up and down. So I'm going to put it right down here. And I could make this taller if I want by going to scale of y. And I could make it tall depending on how I see fit. So I'm just going to put it back like this. Same thing with the X. I could also make it wider if I want. So the options are limitless. Same thing with position X if I want to move it side to side. So think about the X-axis being the horizontal axis moving side to side. Okay, so let's see how this looks so far. And I would also want to drag this all the way to the end of the track. I could change the intensity to make these go higher if I want. I could also change the colors if instead I want something like red. That changes it to red. I could click anywhere to add a new one, and I could change that color by double clicking, and let's say I want purple, or let's say I want yellow, and then I could drag this over to change, and that's how you do it. So there's again a lot of different possibilities. Rotating just means rotating it depending on what you want. Now, let's say that you want more. Let's say that you want your picture or your album cover right somewhere in the middle or off to the side. Well, for example, I have a photo of me that I use for all my social media accounts. And let's say that I want on the side my picture. And I could go to Audio Visualizer and find one that has a circle to it. So again, there's a lot to choose from, and I'm just going to, let's pick this one. So I'm going to drag this over so that reaches the end of toward the end of the piece. And again, with this Audio Visualizer, the circle here, you can't just click on it and drag it over. When I clicked on this, you did see an outline, but the outline is for this video in the background. So I'm just going to double click on this, and I want this to be around my face. So I want to drag this over to the left, so horizontally, or just like the x-axis. I'm going to drag this over here, and moving it up, that's like the vertical axis, so I'm going to go to position Y. And I could also increase or decrease the radius, depending. And now I have the circular audio visualizer around me, but there's all of the stuff that is outside the circle that I don't want, so I'm just going to double click, and I'm going to press mask, and I'm just going to click circle. Then I'm going to adjust, and I'm going to move this up here. And I see that it's off center a bit, so I'm just going to scroll down here, and I have all of these options, so I'm going to go to position X and just move it accordingly. So it just happened to be 10, so that just moves it over here. And I'm going to press OK and see how this looks. So the intensity is a bit low. You could barely see it, so I'm going to double click on this, and I'm going to change the intensity. Okay, that's better. And again, I have these options here. I could totally change all the colors if I want, depending. Something like that. Or I could delete a color or two and move these around. So again, the options are limitless. So now let's say that I want to put titles over here, or put text box information. And so I'm just going to go to titles, and you have so many to choose from. I mean, very many to choose from. So just for an example, I'm just going to choose this one and drag it over here. And then I'll move this over here, and now it depends on how you want. Now I'm just going to put my full name and change the font size, so let's do 50, and you can put the title, or how I would actually prefer is I put the title up here as the deer, and I'm just going to move this down over here, and let's say that I want my name to be smaller than the title. I could do that, and you can put the date if significant and the album name if applicable. And overall, just to have fun with this, there are a plethora of options that you could choose from. Last thing is the conclusion. So let's see how this ends. So I personally don't like it how it just cuts off like that, like everything just disappears. So I'm just going to delete that part right there. And now I'm going to see how that ends. And again, it's your choice, or if you want, you can make this fade as well by adding in the transitions. And you could also put the transitions on the audio visualizers themselves too. So let's see how this looks. Okay, and then you can just play around with it, and then once you're ready, just go and press export, and you're good to go. Hope you have fun with it. If you would like to try Wondershare yourself, I'm leaving a link to their website in the description below, and there you could download a free version, and if you like it, you could purchase it.